Hey everyone, how's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you another episode, Coffee with Coach. Hope you're up doing well. Got the mind in the right place. If not, as always, let's put it in the right place. So, I want to share with you guys real quick before I head up to the academy, a little message that I shared with my team last night during training. So, one thing I'm sure all coaches observe when they watch their students train, I wouldn't say all, but a good portion, majority of them, uh, is students avoiding difficult areas, students avoiding problem areas, whatever the case may be, or maybe like really tough teammates, avoiding the harder roles because they're going to be hard. Or, like I said, just some type of position, running from it and then never being able to learn how to deal with it. Okay. And I bring this up because I was watching some students deal with that yesterday. And it just reminded me, because I run a lot outside. So I run Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I ran this morning and I got trails that I run through. So it's a wooded area with a lot of squirrels and a lot of rabbits in the morning. And it just, it's funny to me. Well, not funny, but it just, as I'm jogging and a squirrel just senses that I'm coming in its direction, it takes off. Okay. The rabbits, the same thing. I see a lot of squirrels and a lot of rabbits. They take off. They just take off running. They're not going to stay there and hang out there and just like wait for you to jog by and like act like you're like it's no big deal. They sense some type of danger and then they run. Okay. And that's what happens with students in jiu-jitsu or just like in life general. Like whatever I was telling my students last night, like whatever you're afraid of or whatever you're not good at and you run from it, or whatever problem you're dealing with and you're not trying to deal with it and handle it and fix it, it will haunt you. It will chase you down. It'll always be there. It's not going away until you actually face it. So I was trying to tell my students last night, instead of the sense of, when things are going bad, the fear of something and running and avoiding a tough teammate or a tough position, you need to go towards it. You need to train your mind and your thought process to go towards the problem area so that you can feel and understand what the problem is, address it, ask questions about it, work through it, and then it will no longer be a big deal to you because you know how to deal with it. But the first jerk reaction is like the squirrels and rabbits is like, I don't want to be here. I sense danger. This isn't going to be fun. And so the first mindset is to run, is to turn and try to like avoid the situation. And I give this example a lot to like my students when I talk about certain things. Like when I was, I don't know, maybe blue, purple belt, something like that. I think it was blue belt. But I hated, like, I would get to the mount on people and I'd always get rolled over. Okay. I never really learned at that time how to stabilize the mount position. Okay. And I would always just get trapped and rolled over until to one point where it was like I would roll and I would completely avoid the mount, like going to the mount. Like I knew I could mount someone, but I couldn't hold it. So in my mind, I'm like, why go there? Because I can't hold it. So I'm not going to go there. So I would avoid the mount position all the time. And that hindered me, obviously, for a very long time until one day, from what maybe changed my mind, but one day I was just like, you know what? I got to learn how to hold this thing. I got to learn how to establish this position, keep it, make my opponents tired, make a mistake, and then submit them from this position. So that's what I started to do. So as time went on, as years went by, I've gotten really, really good at holding the mount. So if I mount someone, I just know how to turn my hips, turn my feet, use my hands, use my hips. Like I know how to use my weight way better than I did before, to where I can stick someone in the mount without really a lot of effort involved. And I'm not getting rolled over like I used to. Side control, kind of the same thing. Like, you get bigger, stronger guys, no technique, they just rip you right over the top or whatever. So I had to learn how to, shift my weight around on my opponents to make myself feel heavier, to tire them out, and to where they couldn't do that anymore. And now I get a lot of that from a lot of people that I train with. Like, man, you feel heavy, and I'm not a heavy guy. I'm 150 pounds or so, So it's just I know how to establish that position, hold it, and then manipulate my weight in a way to where like my opponents feel like I'm heavier than what I really am, and it tires them out. So I can go down this list with everything I sucked at in jiu-jitsu to what I'm now good at, because that's just the way it works. Is you naturally avoid things that suck, that are hard, that are tough, that are going to give you problems. It's just an instinctive thing in our brains to just run from things. Whatever problem you're dealing with in life, you avoid it. I hear this thing a lot from younger people. For instance, if you're hearing a noise in your car, right? You're driving, and you hear a noise under the hood or some type of noise that you didn't hear before, and it probably isn't good. I actually hear people say, I just turn the radio up so I don't have to hear it anymore. So, which is crazy, right? So instead of taking it to Firestone or some mechanic and getting it checked out and, get a diagnostic done on it and, trying to see what the problem is and then fix it, you just turn the radio up and avoid the situation altogether. And eventually whatever's breaking down on you will break and will cost you more money and more of a headache in the long run, when all you had to do is just go get it fixed. It's the same mindset, it's the same thing. Whatever it is that sucks, that's hard, that you're dealing with, if you don't turn around and face it, it's always going to be there, or if not, it's just going to get even harder and become more of a problem for you. I don't know. It's just something I was thinking about, like I was jogging, because like I said, I jogged this morning, and like there's just, first thing in the morning, there's just squirrels and rabbits everywhere. Man, they're taking off left and right, and they're coming down the trail. I'm not trying to hurt them. I love animals. I love the squirrels, you know what I mean? Like I take pictures of them if they up in a tree and they're not running from me or whatever. The rabbits and stuff like that. I like nature. So I'm not doing them any harm, not trying to. They don't know that. They just know something is coming in the direction that might hurt them. And so their natural instincts take over and they take off running. And in jiu-jitsu, as students, I see a lot of my students do the same thing, where whatever is giving them problems or whatever sucks or whatever they're having a hard time deal with, they just try to avoid it altogether. For instance, people that are new to jiu-jitsu that don't really like, I would say mainly the bigger, heavier opponents, maybe middleweight on up or something like that. The lighter people, 100 and, I don't know, 65 pounds and under, they play off their back a lot sooner, a lot faster. They develop their guard, and their guard gets really good really fast because they're just smaller, bigger opponents are going to push them down or take them down. So they have to learn how to play off their back, where a bigger opponent naturally wants to be on top. Gravity's on their side, life is good there, so their top game is really good. But when they get swept or taken down and now they're on their back, they're completely two different people. I have students that are two different people. When they're on top, they're a beast. When they get flipped over on their back, they are a completely different person, to where you don't even recognize who they are, because the look on their face, their reactions, their hands, everything is just going all in the wrong places, and they're doing all the wrong things. Because why? They've avoided that position for so long that when they get there, they're so uncomfortable with it that their mind just goes frantic, goes haywire, and it's not natural. Instincts don't kick in, far as I'm going to do a leg lasso, spider, I'm going to do this, that, whatever, and then sweep my opponent back. The mindset is like, uh-oh, I'm on my back. I don't want to be here. I want to get back up. I mean, I've had students that are like 6-something, 200-something pounds get put over on their back, and they freak out. And they can't handle being on their back. And they got colored belts around their waist. Some no longer train with me, but these are just some of the things, some of the people that I've that pop in my mind that when I think about them, I'd be like, yeah, that individual, when they were on top, they were a completely different animal versus the one when they were on the bottom. And the reason is when they got on the bottom, they avoided that position so bad that whenever they get there, they're just not good at it. So they might be a purple belt or a brown belt when they're on top of you, but when they're on the bottom, they're a white belt with like one stripe, maybe, you know, and that's sad. So if you're a jiu-jitsu practitioner and you come across this video at some point, or if you're watching it now and you're avoiding things and you're running from things like the squirrels and rabbits, instinctively your mind is telling you to run from the things that you fear the most, or things that might seem hard for you or tough. If you don't change that mindset ASAP, as you continue to go up in rank, it will only get harder for you and become tougher for you. And it's not a good look. You know, when you go up in rank, you're supposed to get, you know, more and more respect from your peers and the people that you train with. But you will lose that respect as you go up in rank if you don't develop the things that you're not good at. Because one thing is true, is when you're on the mat, like, you can talk all the game you want off the mat or whatever the case may be, but when you're training, your coach and your teammates can see the scaredness, the frightness, the panic in your eyes and in your body language and the things that you do. And that's not a good thing. Jiu-jitsu, I was telling my students last night, is like, we're here for self-defense. We're here to train, to prepare ourselves for if something was to happen off the mat, somewhere with your family or you're by yourself, that your natural instincts would kick in and your jiu-jitsu would take over and you would be able to handle yourself in a situation when there's not a gun and a knife involved, okay? And it's just you and another human being that's trying to hurt you. Your natural instincts, if you're training properly and if you're doing the right things, your natural instincts will kick in and you will just do the things that you're supposed to do, that you're trained to do. But if you're training yourself to quit, to tap out early, to give up early, to avoid things that are hard, good luck if something was to ever happen outside the mat. Because on the mat, you can tap out, your teammate will get off you, you know, you can take a break, get a drink of water, breathe it out. But off the mat, that's not how it's going to work. Okay, something happens outside of your safe zone, your comfort zone, and you have to really defend yourself or your family. And you don't have anything but your hands and your feet and your body to work with. Good luck trying to remember what you're supposed to do. It should be instinctive because you're training yourself on a daily basis to go towards the hard things that are giving you trouble, so they no longer give you trouble. Okay, and that is the moral of the story. That is the message of this episode, is to face those things that are giving you a hard time so they no longer give you a hard time. And then you can put that right into your regular daily life as well, to where whatever sucks, just don't make it suck anymore by handling the problem and dealing with it. Don't turn the radio up when you hear noises underneath your hood and avoid the problem. It's only going to get worse. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one. We'll see you.